I'm not really good at it. Okay. Okay, all good. I'm gonna share my screen as well. Do use the chat in case you can't hear me, in case I talk too fast, in case my accent's a bit too annoying. And yeah, okay. Ooh, that's like a little bit in advance. Okay, not share. Right, Canva. Bear with me. Present. Present. Okay, there we go. Hopefully everyone can see everything okay. I'm gonna pop the chat, little chat button over here as well. Okay, so let's begin. Welcome to my second webinar, all about planning your first model photo shoot. So today, I really want to invite you to be active in the chat. I'm going to ask you some questions, so don't hesitate to, answer, reply, ask questions as we go along. Obviously, there's going to be a Q&A at the very end of this webinar, but yeah, do ask me questions as we go, just because we're going to forget about what we were talking about before. And, okay, so do comment, and it's not just to be active. I really want to, I don't know why I'm repeating words like 5 times in a row. I never do that. Okay, ignore that. So be in for a chance to win a jewelry and model photography course. So I've been talking about it a lot. I'm launching a course on how to photograph jewelry on a model on the 30th of April in 10 days. And the picture on the left is with one of my favorite models, Evita, who actually came to my studio and was the model for me. So I showed, basically the course is all about showing, is that a model we can book? You can definitely book her. So yeah, so she came around and I showed how to photograph different pieces, single necklaces, multiple necklaces, bracelets, earrings, rings, singles, and group shots. And yeah, she's been amazing. So we photograph everything with a DSLR, with an iPhone, in direct sunlight, in studio lights, everything there is to know about how to photograph that jewelry is in the course. And these are the photos that you would end up with after gaining all that knowledge. And comment with your Instagram handles, just because like in the previous webinar, at the very end of it all, we're going to analyze your model content if we have time after the Q&As. So last time it was loads of fun. I can see loads of people are already putting their Instagram handles there. My first photo shoot is scheduled for April 30th. Amazing. Yes. So that's literally so soon. Get all that knowledge in. So yeah, drop your Instagram handle here if you are not afraid for us to open up your Instagram account and see what mistakes you're making when it comes to model content and how to take that one step towards creating gorgeous. Oh, why am I repeating everything again? Sorry, that's so strange. Okay, but before we delve deep into the ins and outs, let's first analyze what is model photography and why should we invest in model content. For some of you, it's quite basic, so let's refresh that knowledge. For some of you, you might need convincing because your Instagram feed is still full of just product shots. I have a photo shoot this Sunday with me and my 26-year-old daughter as models. Oh, that's amazing. That's really cool. It's so nice to bring that personal touch to your brand, isn't it? Okay, so as I go about photography, there are 3 types of it. There's UGC, user-generated content, there's catalog, and there's model. I'm going to explain you the difference of those types very shortly. But first, let's just clarify that model photography covers any type of image that showcases a piece of jewelry displayed on a real person. So when I say model photography, it doesn't mean like a model with a full face in or like very editorial kind of photograph. Model photograph can also be a very close up of a ring on a finger, a close up of just a necklace. Anything that has that human aspect in the photograph, that's what I would like to consider a model photograph. So let's start with UGC. It's user-generated content. You can see some images that some of the girls that we work with have produced for 3 of our beautiful clients. So the main purpose of this type of photo shoot is to increase clients' trust. And also this is a content that performs best on Facebook ads. Professional photography is great. This content seems to perform much better. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. I'm not a Facebook ad expert, but this is like what sells a lot. So the problem a lot of jewelers encounter is that, you know, people buy the jewelry, they take the photographs, and the photographs are terrible, you know, because how many people know how to photograph jewelry in beautiful light, how to take a nice selfie. So a lot of the time they have their content to share, but it's not of good quality, or it's not like in brands guidelines. And that's why people order user generated content by professionals. Like all of these girls are professional models that, you know, just do their job at home and create that illusion of a happy client, beautiful client, showcasing the most beautiful combinations of jewelry. The second type of a model photo shoot is catalog. That includes close-ups of jewelry, and they are perfect for Etsy and website listings. That's literally where you show only the piece of jewelry that you're selling. It focuses on nothing else. It doesn't focus on clothes. It doesn't focus on the model's look, on makeup, on surroundings. It's purely focused on the jewelry that you want to sell. And then there's model photo shoots. So the face of your brand is in shot. Whenever you book a photo shoot with a professional or non-professional model, you have to remember that your brand from now on will be associated with that person and that person's face and that person's style. So it's not just taking a picture on a beautiful girl, it's actually making that beautiful girl the face of your brand, because a lot of the time you're not going to be showing your face, right? A lot of jewelry brand owners kind of like hide behind their brands, and it's completely understandable. You know, not everyone was made to be in front of everything and, you know, do live videos and do like, I don't know, like behind the scenes of their work in progress. But model photo shoots increase your product's value because your clients see that you're investing heavily into the image of your brand. And like we spoke in the previous webinar, the image of your brand, the photographs and the quality of the photographs of your brand completely resonate with the quality of your products. And these images are great for everything, for advertising, for Etsy listings, for social media, for absolutely all. So a little bit of facts. A study by someone found that adding photos of models wearing products increased conversions by up to 34%. So it's not just me saying, hey guys, you know, model photography is great, invest. No, it's actually facts. So this is something, again, I covered in the previous webinar and something I covered on today's Instagram post. So I'm going to run through it very, very quick. So it's the statistics that I've gathered myself doing a research a couple of years ago. So basically, I wanted to know how many jewelry brands invest in model photography and if it has any correlation with that brand's success on social media. So I follow over 4,000 jewelry brands from all over the world. I've selected 30 independent businesses from my followers, and they were, bear in mind, they were mostly UK based. And I grouped them in 3 ways, 10 brands in each category. Group A had up to 1,000 followers. Group B had between 1 and 5,000 followers, and Group C were much bigger. So they have 5,000 and more followers. So what I found, so basically I analyzed a grid of their top feed, you know, the 9 images that you see immediately when you open someone's profile. And I found out that category A, the group with the least followers, did not sometimes even have one photo of someone wearing their jewelry on their feed. That is not okay. 4 out of 10 brands didn't have a single photo, and then 6 out of 10 brands had like 1 photograph out of 9. Then category B had 2 images out of 9 as model photos, and category C, they had 5 out of 9 photographs, including model photography. Coincidence? I don't think so. So the question that I would really, really like to raise is, Does the group A have a small following and small engagement because the lack of model photography? Or does that group have no model photography because of a small following resulting in sales, right? So it's a vicious circle. Investment means great photographs, means engagement, means sales. With those sales, you invest back into photography, back into content creation, promotions, ads, marketing, and it just goes on and on and on. Sorry for those who are listening to this, second time. Oh, the photo's not loading for some reason. Please ignore. But anyway, having model images on your feed builds client trust, showcases real item size, adds human touch to the business, image quality resonates with jewelry quality, which is something that we just touched on, and it increases items value and differentiates you from competitors, which is so important to understand because there are so many jewelry businesses out there, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know. And every single one of them has photographs. Every single one of them has, beautiful websites. Every single one of them has like some sort of a way to sell their jewelry. So how is it that you are different from those brands? And content is just the easiest way, to differentiate yourself from everyone else. Okay, so let's get to the point. Enough of blabbing about. What should I consider when planning my first model photo shoot? Now, I would really, really like for you guys to comment who has already done a professional photo shoot for your brand. Just comment yes or no if you have, hired a professional model or has someone come into your house. Like, no, one yet. Okay, no. Laura is the only one. Anyone else? Not yet, trying to book with you. Oh, thank you. Yes, with a clothes brand. Okay, amazing. So only a couple of people actually have done that. Most of you haven't. So you're the model. Okay, nice. So you kind of have a lot of insight because being in any parts, of the creative process, Estelle is saying, no, not yet, scheduled. Well, you're going to learn everything about it. So let's begin with the main aspects that you have to like really, really think about when organizing a model photo shoot. There's branding analysis, model, photographer, location, hair, makeup and manicure, and wardrobe. We're going to analyze each one of those specifically. So if you have any questions, either write them down for the Q&A or just like drop them right in there. Okay, let's begin with branding analysis. So brands, colors, clothes, shoot backgrounds, and props depend on the brand's color scheme. So before organizing any photo shoot, you need to have some sort of a thought put into what your branding is all about. Have your main branding guidelines, have your brand's mood board, understand, what your brand's colors are. Then target audience. Who are you creating the images for, and who is the person buying your jewelry? And one of the biggest mistakes I hear jewelry brand owners say is that, my target, my perfect client profile is a woman is women between 20 and 50, based all over the world. And that could not be wrong. Like your perfect client profile should be, again, I mentioned that before, is Sarah, 30 years old, lives in London, is a paralegal, earns like 60K a year. Her favorite shops to buy jewelry from are, I don't know, like Pandora. She buys those on High Street. And yeah, she loves buying clothes from Zara and Harvey Nichols, whatever. Like you have to know every single thing about it. And then when you actually organize a photo shoot, you kind of reflect your brand, your target audience, and the concept that you've created for your photo shoot you just like merge everything into one and come up with the idea for your photo shoot. Because again, your goal is not to create beautiful photographs. Your goal is to create photographs that sell your jewelry, because beautiful photographs can be taken by anyone. Beautiful photographs with a marketing strategy behind them can only be taken by people who run brands with so much more behind them than just beautiful jewelry and beautiful photographs. So who is your target audience? How old are they? What ethnicity are they from? Are they in? Don't know. Clothing style. What do they like? What do they wear? Are they like more classy, or are they like very flamboyant or very festively? I don't know. What are their likes and dislikes? Reflect all that stuff in your model photo shoot. And then obviously general aesthetic. As a brand owner, you should have created already a brand's mood board, kind of setting the aesthetic of your business. What are you like? Are you vintage? Are you modern? Are you very minimal? All that stuff. So this again has to reflect a lot in your brand. Now, the second aspect is a model. How do I find one? On the left, again, there's Evita. Like, she's in every other photo shoot of mine. She's like a muse, literally. So how do you find a model, and how much do models cost? Which is something that brands really get stuck with, because they don't know how to approach a person, how to choose a person, and again, how much should you pay a model. So I can only compare my experience from working with models from the UK and Lithuania. Unfortunately, I don't have experience about working with models from the US. I don't know if their prices are similar to Europe or not. But number one way to actually find a model is by just chatting to your friends and family members. And, I think it was Laura that message saying that, she and her daughter is going to be, taking part in the photo shoot. So, you can definitely have that. So with friends and family, it's really up to you. Like, it's quite strange, like paying money to your friends and family, right? So maybe just offer them a glass of wine, take them out for dinner, gift them some of the jewelry that you create, as a big thank you. Then you can also scout strangers on the streets. It's happened in the past. A lot of my friends who are models have been literally just stopped on the street or in a cafe and, been approached like, hey, I love your looks. I love your vibe. Can you come and model for my brand, whatever it might be. So really don't be afraid to just, if you see that person, if you see that this is it, this is the girl that is perfect for my brand, approach her, and again, if she has no experience at all, it can be just as simple as, giving them 50 euros or 50 pounds, inviting them for a very fun day of a photo shoot in exchange to a piece of your jewelry or two, depending on the jewelry's value. One thing I definitely suggest is never expect anyone to work for you for free, because this is someone's time that they're giving you that you're going to benefit from in the future. That's gonna, like, their time that they're giving to you now, they're gonna bring you profits. So say thank you in some sort of a way, like any sort of way. It can be the smallest, cutest thing, but it has to be done. Micro influencers and macro influencers. So we're talking about the small influencers, like up to 5K, and then we're talking about a little bit bigger ones, like up to like 50K, between like 5 and 50. So micro influencers, a lot of the time, they're beautiful girls that know how to pose for selfies. In my personal experience, a lot of the time when you invite them to a photo shoot, when they have to work with a camera, they really do struggle. So I would not like to count them as professional models, even though their selfies and Instagram feeds look amazing and photogenic. A lot of the time they've been face-tuned to bits. So don't trust just pretty girls of Instagram. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't invite them over to your photo shoot. Just bear in mind that you either need to have a photographer that knows exactly how to pose those people, or you're just gonna have to give them a lot of direction. So again, I wouldn't count them as like very expensive models. I would maybe ask if they would be happy to do a photo shoot for like 100 euros or pounds a day, because still is their time. Maybe they're going to post something on their Instagram and like promote your brand as well. Maybe they're going to like it. Or again, you can just exchange jewelry with them too. But as it's commonly known in the creatives world, exchange is not going to buy you bread, kind of a thing. So monetary reward is always like much more appreciated by everyone. Then we go to macro influencers that are much bigger and have more experience, more likely, so they would charge a little bit more, can be up to 500 euros a day. Then there's semi-professional models of socials. So if you've been on Facebook groups that are like, I don't know, like London models and photographers, or in Vilnius we have like photographers and models group or whatever. There's so many just common people that have full-time jobs that just love taking photos, or that love being in front of the camera. And, they would love, love, love to spend half of their day on set with a photo shoot, at a photo shoot with loads of creative people. So always ask, what they would like as well, like between 50 and $150, pounds, euros is normally like a very average amount to suggest to those people, depending on the length of the photo shoot, of course. Okay, and then the two most secretive rates and ways of finding a model. So we're talking about professionals here. You can either find professional models via Instagram and DM them. A lot of the time, professional models are signed with multiple agencies and have one mother agency, which means that if a job comes, from the private, like DMs, they cannot take it, they cannot accept it. They immediately forward you to the mother agency, and you have to deal with everything directly with them. Some models, though, although they are with multiple agencies, but they do take random freelance orders as well. So professional model rates begin from 150 pounds, euros, dollars an hour. That's the bare minimum, really, and then it goes up and up and up. So in Vilnius, as a standard, it starts from 150 euros for the first hour, and then 100 euros for every hour. You can always negotiate. So if you want half-day shoot or a full-day shoot, maybe they have like full rates for full-day photo shoot, kind of a thing. And now the agencies is where the fun really begins, because it so depends on the agency's structure, the way that agency has their terms and conditions set. So if you, for instance, go to Milk Model Management in London, the first thing, and be like, look, I saw this girl on your website, because model agencies normally have like lookbooks of loads of models that are signed with them. A lot of the time, those models would have no makeup on, so you can see just like them as blank canvases that you can, create like amazing loads of different things from. And you're like, okay, so you connect to the agency, be like, hey, I want this girl. How do I come about it? The model agency will most likely ask you a few things. One of them being, how long are you going to want to be using the images for? Is it half a year, 5 years, or do you want them indefinitely? Another thing they're going to ask you is where you are going to use those images. So is it just for your online shop and social media? Is it going to be posted, like, I don't know, like in magazines? Is it going to be printed? Are the photos going to be printed on magazines, on massive, billboards, on little thank you cards? What are you going to do with those photographs? And depending on that, and the location of the photo shoot and the length of the photo shoot, they give you a quote. So obviously working with model agencies is a lot, because especially if you're starting small independent business, you are going to want to use those photos for indefinitely. But are you going to be willing to pay thousands of pounds for that right to be using those photographs indefinitely? It's a question, because you already spend so much money on photography, on studio hire, on models and everything else. So me personally, I always recommend finding the models that you like, finding their personal accounts, seeing if they legally can work, as freelancers, and connecting with them, and introducing yourself and be like, would you like to work with me? Offering your quote if they give something like absolutely out of your budget, or just try to find that middle ground where you can work together. Because remember, model is so important for your brand. It's the face of your brand. Now, remember when we were talking about two types of photo shoots, the catalog and the general model one? A big mistake that I see independent jewelry businesses make is they want a model photo shoot and they take a friend to be the face of their brand, because the friend is pretty, the friend, takes beautiful selfies. But like I mentioned before, beautiful selfies doesn't mean good photographs, like a person that's good on camera. So I always like to recommend that you should keep catalog images for everyone, for every single type of model that there is. So, where you can't see the face, where you don't have to work your expressions and angles and positions and poses. Simple photograph of just a necklace and like a little bit of a chin. You can use friends, strangers, professionals, non-professionals, everyone. Now, when it comes to the proper model photographs, where their face is in, where their body is in, I would not recommend, taking people without experience. So at least take macro influencers or professional models, like the very least semi-professional models. Because remember that professional models, they know how to work the camera, they know the angles, they do this full time. It's their job to look beautiful. And one of the biggest mistakes that not mistakes, not even misunderstandings, one of the myths that I know a lot of people have is that, models, their job is not completely irrelevant. They just come in, stand there, look pretty, get paid loads of money, and that's it. But in reality, they have to stand there, think so much about what angles or poses, to work. And those poses don't only have to be very different from each other, they also have to work 100% for their client, which is you. So for instance, when photographing a model, if I have a 3-hour photo shoot, I can have a professional model do that shoot in an hour, and I can have a non-professional model come in and do that shoot in 8 hours and still, lack time. So professional models are fast, they're quick, and I could not recommend, investing in them in particular. Okay, photographer. And this is not a part where I sell myself, I promise. I just want to really, really mark this thing. Don't go for your local photographer. Professional camera does not automatically turn a person into a professional jewelry photographer. I've heard so many people say that, they had a photographer, they had amazing portraiture work, they had no clue how to work jewelry. It's the same way as if someone asked me to take photographs of, babies, which is something that I've done in the past. But if I had to do that again now, you don't want to see those photos of those babies. They would not be good, because I only focus on jewelry, something very tiny. Or sometimes people email me and are like, look, I'm launching these journals or books or mirrors or something, can you photograph them? And I'm like, no, because I'm a jewelry photographer. If I photograph jewelry well, it does not mean I'm going to photograph your journals well either. So there are 2 ways of outsourcing a photographer. So you can be the photographer, completely possible, totally possible to take insane photographs, even with your iPhone. I literally just did a guest lecture to Robin Clark's Jewelry Academy the other day, where I was leading the whole thing about how you can take insane photographs just with your iPhone. No technology apart from that. But for that, you need to invest into your time, into education and learning and practicing as well. You don't need pro gear to create pro content. Or you can hire a professional photographer, because I know that running a jewelry business is a full-time job and twice more, right? So you already have to be the Facebook ad expert, you have to be the jewelry maker, you have to run the website, you have to do so many different things. And then learning photographing jewelry on top of that can be a lot and very, very overwhelming. So you can hire a professional photographer, but don't go to your friends from college or to your uncle that has a good camera. Do the background check on the photographer. And I know there's a huge lack and gap in the market for specifically jewelry photographers. And I know why, because it's a tricky thing. It's a very difficult thing to photograph because of the reflections. But do the background check. There's so many product photographers that can photograph jewelry very, very, very well. But before you hire them, make sure that they have taken photographs of jewelry. Make sure that you like them as well. Because if you see a photographer has posted something and they've done jewelry work, but it's not that good, but you're just hoping that if you send your jewelry, they're going to do really, really, really well. Don't fool yourself. They're either good or they're not. So you will get what you see on their socials. And again, landscape photographer does not mean a good jewelry photographer. Good jewelry photographer does not mean good landscape photographer. So either be the photographer or put a lot of research into who you want to outsource yourself. And when it comes to gear, it's something that I shared in one of the webinars as well. So the image on the left has been taken for my beautiful, beautiful clients, ZNA Jewelry. So the image on the left has been taken with a 3,000 pound gear. The image on the right has been taken with a 600 pound gear, which is something that my iPhone 12 Pro is evaluated like in right now. So if I was a jewelry business owner, would I spend all this time, money, effort learning how to master DSLRs with ISO, shutter speeds, exposures, and everything? Or would I just rather have a photo, iPhone and be able to take a photograph, which is clearly not as high quality as the one on the left, but is more than good enough to post on socials. Okay, so number 4, main aspects of organizing a photo shoot with a model is location. So there's 3 locations that you can choose from. One of them is your home space. So the image on the left is a place where I photograph from currently. The image on the right is where I photographed from before in my previous house. So as you can see now, I have so much sunlight, and we're actually moving out in 2 weeks. So I'm not going to have that anymore. I'm going to have very, very little sunlight very shortly. And the previous flat that we were in, I would literally just get like this much sunlight and that's it. But that didn't stop me from taking catalog images at home. Do bear in mind that I'm saying catalog and not full model photo shoots. So what are the pros and cons of photographing at your own house? Like, you have a little studio space where you create jewelry, and you have a nice wall where the light falls very, very beautifully. What are the pros? So you don't need to move, which is a real hassle when you have to transport everything from your studio to a professional photography studio, for example. Because at home you have everything just there, like ready to go. And if you live somewhere remotely as well, like in the middle of Cornwall, for example, and you have to travel to London, that's a big journey for you to make. So that pro of being at home is really, really good. Knowing where everything is, you can prepare jewelry the day before, which is like when you go on location, you have to pre-organize everything, and then take everything to that set, and then lay everything out and plan everything out literally like 10 minutes before the model comes in, because you're very, very restricted and limited on time. Again, in your house, you can track sunlight, because my secret to photographing jewelry is sunlight. It's not some special lights, nothing. It's literally pure direct sunlight. And in your own house, you can track it. You can understand, where it's coming from. I'm just realizing, am I recording this? Yeah, I am recording it, surely. Yeah, I think I am recording. Okay, again, that was like a very moment. Then you can track sunlight. Yeah, so like, okay, I have sunlight between 3 and 6 p.m. in my house. I need to smash content in that time. When you go somewhere new, you never know what the sunlight situation is like there, right? And again, your home space is absolutely free. Then cons, you have limited space because everyone lives in, some live in smaller houses, some live in bigger houses, so you're quite limited with where you can work. You have limited sunlight as well, depending on your windows. Some people have huge windows, some people literally just work from very, very tiny rooms. Limited props a lot of the time when you go to photography studios. Oh, I can't see the comments, sorry, I'm just gonna put this on. Yeah, so where was I? Oh, limited props. So, when you go to a photography studio, they have loads of chairs, they have loads of beautiful like things for the model to sit at, like curtains, loads of different backgrounds. Whilst like at home, that's not something probably that you can have. And then another con is having strangers in your own house. Like, I don't know how some people feel about it. I personally don't mind, but it can be quite strange having like a makeup artist, a model, an assistant or whatever, like in your space. Then location is so much fun, especially with the summer approaching. So you can photograph outside, but it's important to scout those locations beforehand to make sure that they're good for photographing. So it can be the seaside, it can be the park, it can be the forest, it can be the city center, anything. One of the biggest pros is that you have a selection of different backgrounds. You literally turn the model this direction, you have like the seaside, you turn the model this direction, you have the sand dunes, you turn the model this direction, you have the forest, right? So many different backgrounds to play around. Then it's very easy to convey the brand's feel, especially if you're nature-inspired brand. You probably don't want like a very flashy like studio photo shoot for your business, right? You probably most likely will want to have a model with flowy dresses at the beach with bare feet, you know, that kind of stuff. And again, it's free. The biggest cons though are people watching. It's very frustrating, especially if you're like a very busy environment. People are watching. People do love to stare and be like, oh, what are they doing? It's something very new to them. So it can be quite distracting. And then sometimes you even have to wait for them to like get away from the background that you're shooting in. Then there's no space to change clothes, especially if you shoot somewhere very public. So, you know, if you have many outfit changes, it's very frustrating because the model has to change literally in front of other people, which most models are absolutely fine with, but still, like for you as a person organizing the photo shoot, it can be something like a little bit weird. Then there's no space to keep jewelry, which is very frustrating. So if you're shooting like on sand dunes, you know, you might put a little towel on the sand and lay you know, all your jewelry out there, but it's in comparison to photographing inside indoors, it's a little bit frustrating. Then there's wind, which, you know, depending on the weather conditions, is very frustrating, and like it's blowing in model space, and you have to keep on fixing it. It's very frustrating. You need an assistant for reflectors when it comes to photographing outside, because in the studio, you just prop some, you know, foam boards and reflectors, like just to any random objects. Whilst in nature, you know, you have to have someone holding the reflector. And obviously it's very weather dependent. It's so frustrating when you organize a photo shoot, you pay everyone up front, you have everyone like coming from different cities, and it's raining that day. That's it. The photo shoot's ruined, right? And then there's a you know, professional studio. So this is a Brazil photography studio. This is somewhere that I photograph a lot in Vilnius. And yeah, it's a professional studio that has all the gear there. It has different backgrounds and props. It has a professional help on hand as well. If, you know, you don't understand how to work the slide, or if something doesn't work out, you always have a professional that can help you out. Bear in mind, they're not your assistant. They can't be there full time, you know, helping you take that nice photograph. But if you have any questions, they're there to help. They have amazing gear available if you're willing to experiment. You know, you can create beautiful backstage content as well. And they have loads of sunlight if you're lucky, again, with the weather. Cons, it's very expensive. It starts from 35 euros per hour. In London, it starts from £50 an hour. So it can get very, very expensive, especially if you have a full day photo shoot planned. There's a lot of equipment and gear and tech that you don't actually need to use. You have time restriction as well. So if you book a photo studio for like five hours, you have to come here, you know, 4 or 5 hours. After that, there's other people, like it's a conveyor belt. And again, it's quite a weather dependent booking, especially if you're shooting with natural sunlight. Okay, hair, makeup, manicure, things to consider and invest 100% of the time. So can I ask everyone a question? If you were organizing a photo shoot, which aspect out of those do you think would be the most important for your brand? Hair, makeup, or manicure? Manicure, okay. Yeah, Urta, know that you like have loads of brains. Manicure as well. Nice. Makeup. This is a Lithuanian much. Like, where's all the English people? Come on. Manicure. So we have loads of manicure people. One person saying makeup. Manicure. Hair. Interesting. Sorry, I'm late. Manicure. Okay, interesting. So obviously, if your business is very ring focused, manicure is completely essential, and that's manicure as well. Yes, Estelle, because so many people forget about it. Yes, everything exactly, 100%. Manicure a lot of the time stays at the very end of the list of things to plan. And a lot of the brands, in my experience, just kind of hope for the best that the model is going to come to the photo shoot with perfect manicure because, you know, they're a model. But what if you book a non-professional? What if you book a model around Christmas period and they come into your photo shoot with green nails and one of them has a Santa Claus picture on them? What if you come in the middle of the summer where, you know, there's like crazy neon nails that have been like growing for the past 2 weeks and you see like, you know, like proper grown out nails. So if there's one thing that you should 100% definitely invest is like just put 35 euros pounds into sending the model to your professional manicure salon to get their nails done just for the photo shoot, just the way that you like it. And my personal preference is milky base. Is something that I have on right now. It looks a little bit too white on me, actually, but it's like very pale pink. It's quite transparent. It's very neutral. It doesn't, take attention away from anything. Makeup, again, I've had so many clients come in. It's funnily enough, most of them have been men coming in and ask me, can the model come in without makeup? I don't want to pay for makeup artists. Like, the model's beautiful already. Like, why do you need makeup? And I'm like, guys, no makeup look takes 2 hours to create. Like, no makeup look is a thing, okay? Like, you will not see a model during a professional photo shoot without a model, because we all have blemishes. We all get like rosy cheeks when we work very, very hard. So come on, makeup is very, very essential. Hair, on the other hand, I don't know. I always ask people if they want hair done, but if we photograph jewelry, it's not very much in the center of attention. So if the model comes in with a straightened hair, as long as it's neat, it's fine. If you're, for instance, shooting bridal jewelry, yes, you 100% need that like fantastic, hair look done. If you're just shooting, normal jewelry, and model can simply do like something very, very simple and still look fantastic, just like they do on a normal day. Then wardrobe. It is as important as the model, as a photographer, as a makeup artist, and as a location. There are 3 main ways to get clothes for your photo shoot. You can collab with other independent businesses. I've done that before. It's a lot of effort, but in the end, it's very, very worth it, especially when you see them share your photographs on their socials, on their website, etc. So a business that just works really, really well with your concepts, with your branding. Drop them a message, drop them an email, and be like, look, I'm organizing a photo shoot and I would love the model to wear your clothes. Would you be happy to borrow them to me in exchange to the photos and videos that we take? A lot of the brands would already have clothes that they've used in photo shoots already, so they would be willing to just do the little exchange, as long as you pay for like the postage or whatever. Then we have high street brands, which is something that we do mostly, just because most of our clients are outside of Lithuania. We are currently in Lithuania. So basically a lot of the time clients just order from Zara, from Mango, from ASOS, and we photograph models with those clothes. And after the photo shoot, obviously we're very, very careful with them. We just return them and the client gets full refund, apart from obviously the postage fees. And then obviously you can hire a stylist. They cost around 200 euros, pounds, dollars for like a couple of outfits. Again, it's amazing because you don't only get that kind of like baseline ASOS or Zara kind of stuff, you also get very, very eccentric or very interesting outfits to choose from too. And they're there on the photo shoot, making sure that there's no creases. They steam everything for you. They return everything for you, so you don't have to go through this like refunds, returns. Again, it's also a very, very good option. So when it comes to clothes themselves, I always suggest light colors, because when you photograph jewelry, you want light to bounce from everywhere. When I photograph jewelry, a lot of the time it doesn't happen all the time, but I do try to wear light clothes. I like to have loads of white or light space around me, just so the light bounces and there's as little reflections on the jewelry that I photograph, right? So that literally includes clothes. So if the model is wearing like a very shiny silver necklace, but she has a white shirt with like, collar popping out, that collar is actually going to fill in the shadows a little bit and reflections to the piece of jewelry that you photograph. Large cleavages, of course, because you photograph necklaces, it can be quite frustrating when the necklace comes on the material and it just doesn't look as good unless it's been like premeditated and that it's going to look like fantastic. So large cleavages is a big thing. On brand to inspire target audience. Again, remember when I was saying like know who your target audience is, know what they wear, know what they dress like. Try to reflect the best aspects of that into your model photo shoot, or try to inspire your target audience, to become, like that person in the photograph. Big sleeves, I'm a huge fan of them just because they're puffy, especially like transparent ones, because they're puffy and like you can do loads of like poses with arms. I don't know what that was. You can do loads of poses with arms with those sleeves being in the foreground of the photograph, like fully blurred out, but in the foreground that does bring a lot of life to the photograph. And another thing is, don't worry about trousers or shoes unless you're doing like a full length shoot, which is something very, very, very rare because jewelry is such a minute thing to photograph. A lot of the time they're just portrait photographs, like up to a waist. Yes, it's important to have like trousers that look nice, like on the very top, like the waistline. Anything that's down there, like, it's not very, very important unless, again, you have premeditated like some poses that involve like, you know, the model's like legs. But yeah, shoes especially, maybe have one pair max. Dresses is a great way to kind of like avoid spending money on trousers as well, because you get beautiful cleavages, beautiful top, and then, you know, they're just like extending to the bottom. And yes, that's it. So basically, if you want to photograph jewelry yourself, educate, 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 and educate yourself. And I'm back to that repeating words. Oh my God. Educate yourself, learn, and you know, you can do this. Like, if you've been following me on Instagram for a little while, you will know that, you know, you don't need crazy equipment, expensive gear to take beautiful photographs. Like, you need an iPhone, you need some foam boards, you need natural sunlight, and you're good to go. You can literally build a 7-figure brand just with that. Like, in the photography studios I rent, sometimes I see not jewelry business owners, but generally like business owners come in themselves on an iPhone, professional model, and you know, their clothes, shoot content on phone, and sell out in days. So, you know, that's the life we live in, unfortunately. So I'm releasing a course on the 30th of April, like I mentioned before, and it covers everything there is to know about photographing jewelry on a model. So basically what we've just spoken about, but much more in depth. I do have loads of studio recommendations there for like all over the world. I delve deep into how long it should take for you, you know, how long you should book a model for, exactly how to go about the working with agencies and all that stuff. And obviously we have the beautiful model Evita that you saw in the beginning, showing like the actual process of photographing in different lights with different technology, and yeah, and in different types of jewelry. So the course is currently on pre-launch price $290, is going to go to $390 after the 30th of April. So if you like, there's a little cheeky discount code in the very end of this, where you can check it out. And there's also something that I really, really encourage you to look into. It's a smartphone jewelry photography bootcamp that's launching 1st of June. Here we're gonna have 4 weeks dedicated to different things of photographing jewelry. So in the week 1, we're gonna have, you know, jewelry product photography, kind of like a workshop, followed by loads of resources and little seminars. We all photographed, like all kind of like about photographing using an iPhone, by the way, or smartphone, but basically not a DSLR. Week 2 is going to be all about photographing a model, wearing jewelry. Week 3 is going to be about photographing e-commerce using your iPhone, and week 4 is going to cover everything there is to know about editing. For that, you will need Lightroom or Photoshop downloaded, but about that I will just be talking about that later on. Yes, and yeah, so this is the code that I've created just for you guys, just for the webinar people. It's 1 step, and you can screenshot this. You can just use that for everything that's on hudsonita@teachable.com. And you remember, just get 1 step closer to running a 6-figure jewelry business. Because one quote that I heard, and it's not leaving me at all, is that imagine yourself being in the same place 1 year from now. It's scary when you know that you have all this potential to put so much work into growing a business and, you know, making it huge. But, you know, so there's that option, and then there's an option to be in exactly the same place as you are now. And that's scary. And I really hope that everyone is here with intention to grow and grow a big business and grow a profitable and successful business. So yeah, keep on learning. And now is the time for Q&A. So obviously there was so much information that we covered. I might have like flown through it quite a lot because like we are, you know, with time restriction, but now we have 10 minutes to go through any questions you might have. And then, yeah, and if you still want to have your Instagram accounts analyzed, if you want me to check out your model photographs, do let me know. And yeah, I'll check everyone out. We still have 10 minutes, so let's do that. Okay, I see questions are flying in. Okay, so any tips before my photo shoot with me and my daughter this Sunday? Poses. Yes. Oh my God. So posing, especially if you're not a professional photographer, research the posing and practice it. I know in myself, like I watch models all the time and I'm so in awe on how they do it. Like when you put me in front of the camera, I really, really struggle to, look good. So research your poses, go on Pinterest, find the poses that you like, take photos of each other, like in those poses, analyze what you look like, analyze, the first thing you should do is understand which side of the face is your favorite, which is something that loads of people are like, what? Come on, we all have that side of the face that we turn to our phone cameras when we take a selfie, right? So always try like just put that side of your jawline towards the camera. Just practice and train and practice and train. Honestly, Pinterest is the best way to do it. Just spend half an hour with your daughter, like sat down on Pinterest being like model poses, top model poses, see what you like, try to recreate them. And once you do that once or twice or 3 times, when you're on the set of the photo shoot, you're actually gonna know what looks good. Another tip is ask your photographer to put a mirror right next to them. So when you're posing, you can see yourself. And that's something I've started doing very recently because the feedback from the models has been amazing. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is so nice to pose and see what I'm actually doing, what I'm looking. So just ask the photographer to have a mirror right next to them. And that's going to make you feel much, much more at ease as well. What challenges do you often face in preparing for photo shoots and how do you overcome them? Challenges a lot of the time are, that's a really good question. Planning time, especially when I know that I need to take 60 photographs, for example, and I don't ask my clients, how many of those 60 photographs are going to be singles and how many of them are going to be group shots. So always tell your photographer or think yourself how many single items you need to photograph and how many layered necklaces you need to photograph, and take into consideration the style and type of the necklaces as well. Because putting on a chain, like a chunky chain on a model, snapping away is so completely time sensitive than putting 3 or 4 or 5 very dainty chains that have to be at a very, very special length. And then, that like some of them just move very weirdly when, the model turns or breathes even. So that's definitely it. Working with very small and dainty jewelry as well is a big challenge. Like I said, like popping a chunky chain on is easy. Working with jewelry that's like very highly reflective and very dainty, that moves with literally like one breath that model makes is just on the next level, honestly. That's a very good question. Thank you. Do the pictures where the model's face is visible compared to the catalog body shots bring more engagement from the customers? 100%. Yes, like those catalog shots are important. If I was starting a brand with a very limited budget, that's where I would begin the catalog imagery, because you don't need to invest in a professional model to get that done. But yeah, 100% like images with models' faces convert so much more profit, just because the person can. It's very strange. Like, okay, so I'm going to a wedding in a couple of in a couple of weeks, and there's this, I don't know how many of you know House of CB. Like, it's a very like sexy shop for like beautiful dresses, right? And I went there and I found my perfect dress, of course, and the model was like so curvy, so beautiful, like like proper curves. And automatically and I'm like a pretty straight person, like there's not many curves like in me. And I was looking at that person, I was imagining myself wearing that dress, and I saw those curves on me. So whenever a person just sat there in their room, like after a 14-hour shift, like having McDonald's with a like underwear, like pajamas on. Like I spend my time a lot like that. And they look at this like beautiful goddess of a model wearing their jewelry, they automatically assume that, oh my God, that's me. That's exactly how I'm going to look like when I wear that jewelry. So that association is so important. And that's why I definitely recommend having models' faces in shots as well. Okay, good question though. What about retouching? I think that's my struggle. Retouching is definitely something that you should invest your time in learning 100%. I haven't got any courses on that, I'm afraid, planning, but we're going to touch a little bit of that, not a little bit of that, a lot of that in the bootcamp on the 4th week. Retouching is something that just, it's not going to come to you just like that. You have to watch YouTube videos, you have to practice and practice and practice. One thing that helps a lot with the speed of it is Wacom graphics tablet. So instead of doing it on your laptop, like a little touchpad, do invest in a like Wacom graphics tablet that's going to speed up your process a lot. Like, you know, those things when you go to like shops and they ask you to sign something. So yeah, those like weird pen things. So that speeds up your process, but do use Photoshop, do use Lightroom, and learn retouching. Even for me, like it takes sometimes a full face image takes like 45 minutes to edit. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't get faster. But yeah, but shots like, you know, simple like neck shots, ear shot. No, I'm lying. Ear shots can take up to like 60 minutes as well because of all the redness and stuff. There's actually a tutorial on how to edit ears on my YouTube channel that's openly available if you want. There's like 2 videos on my YouTube channel and one of them is that. But yeah, retouching, learn that 100%. Will there be a replay? Yes, there will, for 48 hours starting tomorrow. Would you recommend paying for male model to get manicure also? Never had that question. Very valid thing. Yes, I have photographed men. I think the best thing to do is see what the man's hands look like. Sometimes my clients ask me to ask the model to send their like hand image to them, just so they can like visualize, you know, what manicure looks best, like what shape of manicure looks best on them. But the easiest thing to do is just be like, hey, can you send me your hand pic? Very random. And then if you see that the cuticles are not good or the nails are a little bit like untidy, just be like, hey, it's very standard procedure. Is it okay if I book a manicure for you? And a lot of the time they're going to be very happy because men just don't like treat themselves with manicures themselves. So I'm sure everyone would be it's a win-win situation kind of a thing. What kind of makeup works best in your opinion? Actually, there's a blog post. If you go to hudsonita.com, there's a blog section, and very recently I did a newsletter about that as well. So I've shared like 4 makeup looks that I love the most on models. So I personally like very neutral, very light, definitely not cakey makeup. When it comes to makeup as well, I forgot to mention that. And if you're sending a model to the makeup salon, always ask them to do the chest, like the whole shoulder, like décolleté area, because one thing you don't want is to photograph necklaces on a completely unedited skin when you can see that the face is like different color and like completely perfect. There's nothing worse than that. So yeah, neutral, not too cakey, and definitely from here to here, everything has to be covered in makeup. Sometimes if the model has like blotchy hands, or if you're shooting in winter, have some body blush to put on the model's hands as well. Okay, so the phone photography bootcamp, as its live sessions, is it all a specific time each day, or will it be recorded so it can be watched anytime? Yeah, it can be watched anytime. So we're going to have on Mondays, we're going to have like a seminar like this where I explain things. Then you're going to be given a homework. So obviously you can perform, you know, you can do that. If you don't have time, you don't have to. I do highly suggest doing the homework because that's how you're going to put your knowledge into practice. So in between the seminar and your homework, when you're actually doing it in the week, ideally like Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to send loads of resources your way. And then on Friday or Saturday, we're going to do a live Q&A session where we analyze the work that you do, if you want to share it, of course, and answer any questions that you might have. So the seminar, the webinar like this, that happens in the very beginning of the week, can be looked like throughout the whole 4 weeks. The yeah, the resources are going to be available for a full month as well. And then the only thing that I definitely don't suggest missing out on is the final Q&A where we analyze each other's work and, go through the struggles that everyone experienced through the process. Laura, thanks. These tips are so helpful. I'm so happy. Okay, I'm so happy that you're finding something helpful and you have things to take away. I feel the same about hairstyles. Lol, hairstyles. Maybe I'm a very bad person to talk about hairstyles because I've always struggled with hair. Like I have 3 hairs on my head, and it's just not something that I'm like very passionate about. But yeah, hairstyle is very important. Is it going to be feedback during bootcamp? Yes, like 1 full day, like I mentioned just now, is going to be dedicated just for feedback, just so we can see you grow, just so the next time you do exactly the same task, you know where to perform better. How do you ensure that the colors of the jewelry appear accurate in the photos? Sometimes you can do that, sometimes you can't. A lot of the time it's post-production, but it hasn't been much of a struggle, to be fair. Like if your white balance is quite on point, if your white balance is consistent, then there shouldn't be much issue with having consistent colors of the jewelry. How do you ensure that? Oh, that's the same. But if anything, like you can always like edit that in post-production. Like if you have Photoshop, just do Command U, or I think just like where you adjust hues and saturations and light and like color aliveness or something, and then adjust the yellow and red tones, of that specific area that you want to adjust, just to match everything else. Was the price of the boot camp is €50 dollars a pound. It's very frustrating because everyone's from all over the world. So there's 3 currencies you can choose from. It's 50 euros dollars a pound until the end of the month. From the end of the month, it's going to be 150 pounds. And also with that 1-step discount code that you enter at the checkout, you can get 20% discount. So it's like 42 pounds. It's literally nothing. It's like 10 pounds for full weeks of material. So it's definitely worth it. How do you photograph tiny jewelry? Do you add a macro lens to your phone? I do have a macro lens. I don't shoot objects like that with an iPhone. I keep iPhone for more creative, user-generated content kind of a material. But we can definitely do that. I have a macro lens for an iPhone that was like 30 quid off Amazon, and it works perfectly. Tiny jewelry I do use for my DSLR. I have 100mm macro lens that is literally irreplaceable. It's the best thing in the world. So yeah, macro is the way to go, 100%. I think I've been sending messages to Zed instead of everyone. Oh no. That's so funny. That's fine. You guys communicate between each other. That's so funny. Dates of the bootcamp. So the bootcamp is going to happen starting 1st of June. So yeah, 1st of June, in the beginning of each week, there's going to be, all that stuff going on. So I'm just launching the model photography course on the 30th of April. And then after that, it's going to be all about the bootcamp. So you're going to find out so much more about it coming up. My Insta is dire. Since following you, I've realized I've done it all wrong. In the process of fixing it all, including full rebranding and the shoot. Otherwise, I would put it up for review here. Rebrand is never too late. Like rebrand is never too late. I cannot recommend Dot's Creative Studio. A beautiful girl, Natalia. She's currently in Romania, I think, that does the most insane branding for businesses, and I've been forwarding my clients to her because she's literally the genius. So if you're like ever thinking of rebranding your business, Natalia is your girl. Do the models, oh my god, there's a lot of questions. Okay, these are the last ones because we're already over the time and I really want to analyze some of your work. Do the models get sent for manicures, makeup, hair prior to the shoot, or does it eat into studio hire time and model hire time? Okay, because makeup does sometimes take 2 hours to create. That's a very good question. The way I do it, because I'm wary of exactly that problem, I send the models to the makeup salon, quite close to the photography studio, wherever we're based. So they get their makeup done. Meanwhile, I have my sleep in, I start getting the studio ready, and then they come in, and the second they come through the door, I can chuck clothes on them, feed them with croissant and coffee, and then go and shoot. So yeah, I definitely suggest doing that. Some brands do like, you know, hire the studio for a full day and then the whole team comes in and everyone has to wait for each other, and that's just not very nice practice for sure. Would you recommend retouching all images, including for lifestyle, for Instagram posts? Everything has to be retouched 100%. Jewelry has fingerprints, dust, bad reflections, absolutely everything has to be retouched. It's very simple, it's very easy. You need patch tool, you need stamp tool. With those two tools, you can literally make your jewelry look amazing. Okay, yes, that's who I'm meeting with on Monday. Oh my God, yes, amazing. I think we're talking about Dust Creative Studio, Natalia, amazing, very, very excited. She's literally the G. Check her out on Instagram. I'm like doing an ad for her, like we literally spoke once. I'm just so obsessed with her work. I want to have my own jewelry brand just so I can like go to her. I'm changing colors of the clothes. I'm changing colors of the clothes if possible for the April 30th shoot. Yeah, genuinely just go neutral, go all neutral. It's going to help the jewelry to be unfocused as well. Natalia is the owner of Dots Creative Studio. It's a branding agency based in Romania, and they're insane. Okay, let's stop it with the questions. We're 6 minutes over. What is Natalia's Instagram? Dots Creative Studio. Try to check that out. She should appear very nude, minimal, like kind of style she's got. Okay, right. 3 brands have messaged their oh God, stop sharing. Okay, sorry, my Zoom. Oh, is that how red I am? Oh my Lord. Okay. I just saw myself for the first time. Oh my God, guys, how do I get out of there? Okay, so we go to Estelle. Let's see what model content you have and let's see where you can improve from literally today. Okay, so I don't see much model content, Estelle. Like your jewelry is absolutely beautiful. It's very stunning, very unique. I love that you have this. I would definitely suggest having more consistency in general for your Instagram. Yeah, because a lot of your content is very like maybe from like Instagram stories, very text-based. I would definitely go much more visual because jewelry, like people need to see the finalized item of jewelry on your feed. So even images like this, but an image with no text, no hashtags, that would work really well. This is very nice. Obviously posting yourself is beautiful. And this is great. Like the next step, I think, is for you, for what I suggest for you to do is just get someone in to your workshop, into your studio. It can be your daughter, it can be like anything, like a person from Facebook, a person from Instagram, where's everyone? So yeah, basically just like have most of your items photographed like very nice and close up, and then obviously just going next step and investing in a professional model because like your jewelry looks really expensive. Like obviously I don't know how much it goes for, but like you do wedding bands, you do engagement rings, like this is very, very gorgeous, and I want to feel how expensive it is in the photographs. Like this is a very DIY shop, and it's a little bit too DIY for the quality of the work that you do, I think. So investing in your jewelry in your jewelry model photography would be something that's very, very important for you. Oh my God, I wasn't sharing the screen. Oh no. Oh my God, no, I literally just stopped sharing screen. That's so bad. Sorry, I'm gonna do it again. Oh Lord. Sorry, so this is Estelle's. No, okay, so this is Estelle's Instagram, and that's exactly what I was saying. There's like a little bit too much text. Can everyone see? Okay, can everyone see the screen? Okay, nice, yes. Yeah, so the jewelry, what I was saying, like jewelry looks very artistic, very like niche. So I would definitely have more images like this, but with better quality. Be very, very wary of these little like tags that I know you probably can't take off, but be very wary when you photograph them. Try to hide them a little bit better. And yeah, that's what I was saying. Just have better quality images of that. So having someone at your studio would help you so much, where you can just bash content on them. All right. we got, it's beautiful, isn't it? Oh, no. Literally happened last time as well. Okay, sorry, I'm just copying everything over. Okay, there we go. Yeah, jewelry and hair accessories. Love. Oh, this is so princessy. I love it. Okay, you got, okay, so I already see like these type of images like work so well for you, just like pure hand. Obviously you need hair, hair shots if you like sell hair products, like maybe even, I don't know, just like finding not user generated content, finding girls with beautiful hair on Instagram and ask them to create content, like using your hair bands would, like, that would be amazing. At the moment, what I see is just not enough of model content on your feed. Like even this, like images like this. Oh, it's real. But images like this would drive so many more sales to you because you can clearly see the size of the ring. You can clearly see like every single detail. And yeah, definitely go forward with these and have more of them, definitely. And when you're ready, obviously have things on necklace as well. And having mirror selfies is always like a very, very good shout. Okay, what do we have then? Just 2 more left. It's not too late if you want. Oh, I'm doing it again. Oh my God. If you want to have for me to check out your brand, do let me know. Okay, lovely. Okay, nice. One thing that I'm already seeing is the green background. That's something that I spoke about in the previous like workshop, where I was talking about jewelry photography mistakes with the green background. If it's not a part of your branding, I really, really recommend avoiding it. If you photograph nature, find something that's not green, have a little like background to photograph with, because like the green is just like a little bit, I don't know, like a little bit too lifestyle-y. Yeah, like it's very, very good that you have loads of images like that. Definitely suggest guys not putting like text like this on on posts. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Nice, we can definitely see like what everything looks like, the matching earrings with the necklace. I would try and upgrade the quality for sure, a little bit more consistent. Like this is very nice. I think, okay, so I said that to someone else the other day as well. Can you see the difference that sunlight makes to your jewelry photographs? Like the first few shots here, can you see how beads, like they just shine in comparison to these photographs? If you can use the sunlight, like if you can just use a natural sunlight falling on your jewelry to catch the beauty of the stones, especially if you work like with natural gemstones and all that. But yeah, I suggest just trying to have like literally anyone in your studio, just like with Estelle, just have someone in and have a content creation session for like 2 hours and try and photograph that on them as well. But these photos like work so well as well. I definitely know loads of bracelet focused jewelry businesses that like create loads of content like that. There's like, I really like Tom Jewelry. I don't know if they're so they literally pretty much, okay, they sell other stuff now as well, but they started purely from silver beaded bracelets. Like this girl here, like she's a real guru. So if you want, definitely check her out. She is a legend amongst the real jewelry, real creators. Like she's been in TikTok headquarters and stuff. She's amazing. So she takes beautiful photographs of jewelry herself as well. So like this is, I imagine, like something that you want, like something that makes the jewelry and the beads shine through and work with the sunlight. Okay, Royal Copenhagen jewelry. Let's, why is it doing this? I'm just gonna scroll through it. Yeah, I love Tom too. Okay, yeah, Royal Copenhagen jewelry. I'm gonna check you out now. Someone's just pretty much missed the whole webinar. Woke up at the wrong time from New Zealand. Is it like 4 a.m. for you? That's the dedication. Okay, Rock Copenhagen jewelry. Oh, okay, these are beautiful. Okay, I can see you are rock and rolling. I can't tell how much of these images is something that you've taken yourself, how many of these have been taken professionally. Like, this is stunning. This is 10 out of 10, 100%. This is very nice too. Okay, like, this is beautiful. I can see how you're playing with the sunlight. And that's what I really, really want to emphasize on. Sunlight. It gives so much soul. Okay, Karina, all myself on iPhone. This is insane. Like, this. Did you take the product photos on an iPhone as well? I would love to know, because they're amazing. These shots, this is something you should definitely, everyone else should really, really look into creating. I think, yes, with profile setting, okay, that's interesting. So profile setting kind of like focuses on the one piece and like blurs everything else around you, right? So yeah, Karina's profile is definitely something like worth looking into. I think the next step for you is just investing in a professional photo shoot. Like, you already got that content probably for every single piece that you sell for your website. So I have a DSLR, but a nightmare. Yeah, I know. DSLRs can be a nightmare, 100%. So yeah, the next step for you is to continue bashing this content out on yourself. For Etsy, for your website, but now just upgrade for, can I just quickly check your website? Sorry. Do you have, okay, so this is where I would have one professional model photo shoot to literally 6 a.m. in New Zealand. This is the dedication. I'm going to put the recording of this, I promise. So go back to bed. Yeah, so the website is something where I want to see quality, and that's somewhere, some place that I really want to see that like very high quality photographs of professional models instead of those like images that really work well for Instagram. But again, that's level up. Like, what you're doing already is very, very good. These are insane. I wish I could take photos like that on myself with an iPhone. I'm not gonna lie. So these are insane. Your next level up is pro photo shoot. I don't think you even need to invest in professional catalog photos. You got that. You got that sorted. And I think that's it. Yeah. Does anyone else want cheeky look? Oh, radiate jewelry. I'm from New Zealand. Okay, so I just realized that you've emailed it. Okay, and then the last review. Radiate jewelry. And I love how Nikki's like, yes, love Tom too. Tom is amazing. Okay, and then we have another one. I'm gonna follow you back. Hello. Radiant jewelry. Okay, nice. I don't know, I'm getting so much excitement out of this. I could do that like for 24/7. Okay, I'm looking at product shots. I definitely need more model images. Like, these are great, 100%. Having hands in. One thing I definitely recommend is checking the manicure when you post the images of, maybe not necessarily stones, but if you post images of expensive jewelry, always check the manicure. Images like this is great. For the necklaces, it would be nice to see like them on actual neck to understand the length of the jewelry and how they stand, like, how they look like size-wise. So yeah, I think catalog photography is the next step for you. It's nice to have those hand shots, but maybe more for rings. This is very nice, actually. I really like that. I really, really like that. And you're just holding on. This works very well with earrings and rings, 100%. Necklaces, I would like to see more neck action. That is something, neck action. So yeah, if I were you, I would just like catch sunlight, like, one of the previous jewelry business owners did, and try and catch sunlight and photograph all of the items on themselves. If you don't mind, I'm going to go on your website as well, just to check what your listings look like. So for instance, if we go to necklaces, I would like to see, we like Raw Copenhagen. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, you rocked it. Absolutely rocked it. Yeah. Okay. So you are selling pieces for $99. You 100% need beautiful shots of someone wearing the jewelry. I was speaking about it previously. Again, sorry, I keep on saying that, but I've been talking about that a lot in the past couple of weeks. It stopped me from buying jewelry too many times when I saw a perfect ring and I could not tell what it looks like on a human finger. I did not click that add to basket button, not add to basket, but that shop button or purchase now or buy now. Those items, just like, especially if they're over 20 quid, like $120, you need to show your client what they look like. They are very beautiful product images. You don't need to upgrade them. Just have that one photograph, one good quality photograph of your jewelry scent of your jewelry photographed. Okay, 2 more and I think we're gonna be done. Breaking hearts, jewels. Did we connect very recently on email? Okay, breaking hearts, jewels. Nope. What is going on? Okay, amazing. Nice. Yeah, oh my God. Didn't we just like literally connect via email? Love. Okay, I would like the very first thing I'm gonna give you a cheeky follow. One thing I would immediately recommend is take the jeans out. They're a bit too casual for the beautiful like and minimal jewelry you have. I would definitely, instead of photographing jewelry like next to jeans, I would choose linen trousers, dresses, skirts, maybe like even like really, really nice, like light flare trousers. Jeans is a little bit too cash for the dainty jewelry that you sell. I think if you were selling chunky chains, something very urban, yeah, that's cool. But for the style of jewelry that you're doing, definitely would go a little bit more high fashion. Not high fashion, but a little bit more like thought out. And yeah, I love these shots. They're very great. They're very, very good. You definitely need more of those. And I really like how you have like a lot of model content. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I think I would mix in more product shots in here as well. So it's not just model, but nice. And definitely would play with natural sunlight as well. Like most of them have been taken like very like quite nice day light. But yeah, the next step is like having photos like this. This is amazing. This is what I want to see. 100%. Like your bracelet, ring chains, I imagine they are pretty difficult to photograph because they are quite dainty. But like this kind of content is what you need to have for every single piece that you sell. 100%. This is very nice. This is very, very nice as well. Okay, and the last one. If you have time, Ruby, wait, oh, what's going on? Okay, this is the last one. Okay, amazing. Okay, there we go. Ooh. There's a lot of different stuff I see. This is like very sexy. If that's something that your target audience is all about, I would completely drive on that. I'm not gonna lie. This is the kind of a branding that really, really works for so many jewelry business owners, and I feel like for your jewelry that you sell, it would work really, really well too. Again, sunlight. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay, guys, like this is such a beautiful photograph. 100% beautiful. This as well, but like I don't know, I just love this. And I would do a professional model photo shoot if I were you now. You definitely have that a lot of user generated content. I would, or this is actually very nice. There's a girl called Justine. Her Instagram is Justine. Okay, so she is like a guru of taking photos like that. Like for instance, it's like she does loads of reels, but she's like an amazing person to check posing jewelry in front of a mirror, like when you're posing it. So check her out. Like, you know, sorry, like all of them are covers of reels. But her profile is something definitely worth checking out as well if you're looking to create content. And I feel like for Ruby Woo, that is a style that will work really well. And I think that's it. Oh my God, that's it. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Thank you for being here. I'm doing another webinar tomorrow. It's my last one. I'm doing like a massive marathon this week. And it's going to be about actually photographing necklaces on a model at home. I'm going to show you a few set like literally light setups, how to harness natural light to photograph them, some posing tips as well. And yes, that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for joining again. Like we're 25 minutes too long. I really need to walk Harley out. for a cheeky walk. Photographing necklaces is hardest. Amazing, very helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you actually manage to get loads of information out. Do sign up for the bootcamp. Do try and grow. And I'm 100% sure that you can smash your businesses this year. So amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to try and figure out how to end this Zoom recording. And yeah, sending loads of love. Yes. Amazing. See